Puff was written in the time of folk music, early rock and roll, and crooners. It wasn't a time of hard acid and so on. Leonard Lipton and Peter Yarrow have both insisted they wrote the song about the sadness of getting older and the accompanying loss of innocence. Well, we all know what that's like. And that's part of what drew me into the actual song itself. You know, Jackie is losing his magical friend, and Puff is losing his friend as well. So it's surely not about drugs. I can tell you that at Cornell in 1959, this is what he wrote: no one smoked grass. It would be insidious to propagandize about drugs in a song for little kids. Peter Yarrow wrote, as the principal writer of the song, I can assure you it's a song about innocence lost. This is just a funny rumor that was promulgated by Newsweek magazine, who ran a cover story about covert drug messages in pop music. There's no basis for it. I assure you it's not, he wrote. And yet there are still those who insist they're lying. How does a conspiracy spread so incessantly? I can't pretend to address all of the complexities in the article. However, a couple of things come to mind. Who's telling the story? What is their motive? Can you trust them? If you want to speak for someone, and especially God, be sure to do your research. You've heard it said in jest, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. I would suggest that if you're peddling it as truth, it's not a good story if it isn't true. Interpreting the words of Scripture without the Roman, Greek, Jewish, and early Christian context can lead to all kinds of misinterpretation and misinformation. If you choose to interpret the narrative solely written within a Western cultural worldview, at least recognize your potential for error. Dogmatism can be fraught with danger. Do your research. Research would have revealed that in the historical context, it made no sense to reinterpret the song's message. His head was bowed in sorrow. Green scales fell like rain. Puff no longer went to play along the cherry lane. Without his lifelong friend, Puff could not be brave. So Puff, that mighty dragon, sadly slipped into his cave. Oh, Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea. If my thoughts have tainted the way you listen to the song, rest assured, this is what happens when we interpret historical context. It is like manure mixed with ice cream. The ice cream is best on its own.
Wow, very well written, Pastor Ron.
I had a lot of fun with that one.
But yes, I will not listen to this song again the same way. Definitely tainted.
Yeah, people actually reinterpreted the song, and how often does it happen today? Whether it's things during COVID, we saw all of that happening, and that was actually when I was sort of writing this article. And I think it was, knowing context and history and who's actually writing the story. Do you actually know who it is? Do you trust that person? So when I hear a story, whether it's about the Middle East and or wherever it is, and I'm thinking, boy, let me check out the writer of that. Let me do a little review on where they're coming from. What's their historical context? What's their geographical context? What is their intent? What else are they writing about? Blatant lies are easy to overlook and just pass off. It's those things that have a grain of truth that make them extremely dangerous. Because you tie into that truth part and you think, oh, yes, well, that's true. This must be true too. Not always the case.
That is true.
So thank you, Tizzy.
Thank you, Pastor Ron. What a privilege and honor to have you here. And this is our last episode of our Season 2 SeniorFlix we've come this far, and it's what a great treat it is to have you on our last episode and just sharing some wise glimpse with us.
Well, I want to thank you too, Cecine. You've basically been driving these programs from the beginning, and I came up with an idea, and we sat down and crafted it and so on. But you made it happen, like today.
Under your
And
guidance and leadership, and with our team has been really
well,
wonderful.
we've got a great team, and Jake and Leah
Leah.
behind the scenes. You don't see them, but they're actually right there, and we really appreciate the work that they do. We would
Yes.
not be able to do this without them as well.
Shout out
So
to
this is
Leah and
our second season. We have
Mm-hmm.
what, about 100 in total programs?
Oh, that, yes,
Yeah.
100 videos.
And our third season will be coming up, so we will be doing another season. And we could use funding for it. If you're thinking about something you'd like to donate toward, that would help as well. We do have some funding for the next season, but there are a lot of extra things that we would like to do and talk about. And maybe some more stories from Sage Magazine that we're really honored to be a part of the Sage. I'm a part of the editorial committee for that, and it's the Pentecostal Assemblies of Canada. It's for those who are 50 and over. But if you've never read the magazine, you will actually find it extremely interesting. A lot of great stories in there for every age, to be honest, and thankful to be able to partner with them.
Thank you, Pastor Ron. Thank you for joining us, and stay in tune for our season 3. That was awesome, Pastor Ron.
I was almost going to ask you guys to get in front of the camera.
Can we actually do that? Like, get you guys on?
Is that possible?